Turning 40 does not mean training has to be completely rebuilt from scratch. Some of what people believe about this age is true, most of it is not. This video covers what actually changes in the body around age 40 when it comes to building muscle, based on real research rather than fear-based advice built for a much older audience. By the end, there will be a clear, calm picture of what genuinely needs adjusting at this age and what does not need to change at all. So where does the story actually start? Not with fear, with one real measurable change in how the body responds to food after training. Starting around age 40, the body becomes a little less efficient at turning protein into new muscle. This is called anabolic resistance, which just means the muscle building signal from protein and exercise gets a bit weaker than it used to be. This is real. It is also very manageable. Research has found a specific number that matters here. Adults over 40 need roughly 0.40 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight in a single meal to fully trigger muscle building. Younger adults only need about 0.24 grams per kilogram to get the same effect. In plain terms, a person over 40 needs a noticeably bigger serving of protein at each meal to get the same muscle building signal a younger person gets from a smaller one. To make that concrete, a 200-pound person weighs about 91 kilograms. At the older adult threshold, that works out to roughly 36 grams of protein in a single meal, which is close to a chicken breast and a cup of Greek yogurt combined. A younger adult at the same body weight could trigger the same muscle building response with closer to 22 grams. The gap is not huge, but it is consistent, and it means portion sizes matter more with age, not less. One study found that 40 grams of casein protein, a slow digesting protein, taken before bed, meaningfully increased muscle building overnight, specifically in men over 40. Casein digests slowly through the night, which lines up well with a longer stretch of time without food. And a 2023 meta-analysis found that older adults can build muscle at rates comparable to younger trainees as long as training is done properly. Muscle growth is not off the table after 40, it just needs slightly more protein per meal to get there. Anabolic resistance is real, but the fix is simple. Eat a bit more protein per meal than a younger lifter would need, and the muscle building response is still there. But protein is not the only thing changing in the background. Hormones are shifting too, and this is where most content online loses all sense of scale. Testosterone does begin a slow decline starting around age 35 to 40, dropping by roughly 1 to 3% per year. That is real and worth knowing about. Here's the part that matters most. This is the very beginning of a long, slow slope, not the deep drop that men in their 60s and beyond have already gone through after decades of decline. A person at 40 is not experiencing anything close to what a 65-year-old is dealing with. This section is not meant to cause alarm. It is meant to give an honest sense of scale. The decline exists. It is small at this stage. It is also worth noting that this rate of decline is not fixed for everyone. Body fat percentage, sleep quality, and stress levels all influence how fast testosterone drops in this decade. Someone carrying more body fat and sleeping poorly will likely sit on the faster end of that 1 to 3% range. Someone who stays lean, sleeps well, and trains consistently tends to sit closer to the slower end. This is one of the few factors on this list where daily habits have a measurable say in the outcome. Testosterone decline at 40 is real but minor. It is the first few steps down a long staircase, not a sudden drop off a cliff. So if two of these changes are real but manageable, what about the idea that recovery itself falls apart at 40? This is where the research says something genuinely surprising. A lot of popular advice claims that hitting 40 means training days have to be cut way back, with long mandatory rest periods built in just to avoid overtraining. Research by Fell and Williams directly tested this. They measured how quickly strength recovered after intense resistance training in men aged 18 to 30 and compared it to men aged 40 to 60. Both groups recovered on the same timeline. There was no meaningful difference in how fast their strength came back. This is a direct correction to a very common claim. The idea that recovery capacity collapses at 40, requiring a complete overhaul of training frequency, is not well supported by this comparison. What does appear to shift with age is not how fast the body recovers, but how much total volume it can handle well within a single training session. That is a much smaller and more specific adjustment than the dramatic version usually presented online. In practice, this often shows up as connective tissue, like tendons and joints, taking a bit longer to feel fully settled after an especially high volume session. Even when muscle strength itself has already bounced back, that distinction matters. It means the fix is trimming a few sets off the highest volume days, not adding extra rest days between every single workout. Coaches like Dr. Mike Israetel at Renaissance Periodization have made a similar point when discussing training volume and autoregulation for lifters in this age range. The principle is adjusting how much is done in one sitting, not slashing how often training happens. Recovery speed itself does not appear to change much at 40. The real adjustment is managing volume per session, not adding extra rest days out of fear. And if recovery speed is not the real story, what is the fourth piece of this puzzle? It comes down to two hormones working as a pair. Growth hormone and a related hormone called IGF-1 are both directly tied to muscle repair and muscle building. Growth hormone signals the liver to produce IGF-1, and IGF-1 is what directly acts on muscle tissue to support repair and growth after training. Growth hormone secretion declines by roughly 14 to 15% per decade, starting as early as a person's 20s or 30s. This means that by 40, this decline, sometimes called somatopause, is already well underway. IGF-1, which the liver produces in response to growth hormone, follows the same downward pattern. This is the more honest fourth factor to focus on at this age, rather than chronic inflammation, which is a finding tied to much older, aged populations and does not apply the same way at 40. The useful part is that this pathway responds directly to two things already within a person's control. Research shows that adults over 40 who exercise regularly have higher baseline testosterone, IGF-1, and growth hormone than sedentary peers of the same age. Resistance training itself also triggers a short-term spike in growth hormone right after a hard session, on top of the baseline benefit from staying active overall. And growth hormone is released mainly during deep sleep, which directly connects consistent training and good sleep quality to this specific hormonal pathway. Growth hormone and IGF-1 decline is real and already happening by 40, but consistent training and quality sleep both directly support this system, which makes it one of the more controllable factors on this list. Pulling all of this together, here's what actually holds up. Anabolic resistance is real. It starts around 40 and calls for roughly 0.40 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per meal, more than a younger lifter needs. For most people, that means one noticeably larger protein serving at each meal, not a complete diet overhaul. Testosterone decline is real but small at this age. It begins around 35 to 40 at 1 to 3% per year, which is the start of a long, gradual slope, not a steep drop. Sleep, body fat, and stress all influence where someone lands in that range. The recovery collapse commonly described for much older men does not hold up at 40. Research comparing younger and older lifters found no meaningful difference in recovery speed. The real adjustment is volume per session, not constant extra rest days. Growth hormone and IGF-1 decline is real and already underway by 40. Consistent training and quality sleep both directly support this system, and both remain fully within a person's control. 40 is not a wall that requires tearing everything down and starting over. It is a point where a few specific, research-backed adjustments matter more than a complete overhaul. Want more fast fitness tips like this? Check out the next video here.